Gas and Oil Board meeting to order. Today is December 17th. We are in Big Stone Gap at the Department of Energy. I'd ask everyone to please mute your phones since the proceedings are being recorded. I would start with approving those that's participating remotely. We have Mr. Prather, whose principal residence is more than 60 miles from home. And I need a motion to allow Mr. Prather to participate remotely.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We don't need a roll call on that, do we? Also, Gus Jansen is have the first box on the resolution. Due to health issues, Mr. Jansen's unable to attend today, but he's going to attend remotely, and I'll need a motion to allow him to participate.
I'll make that motion also.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Yeah.
The board will introduce themselves. We'll start with Mr. Owens,
Patrick Owens, public member.
Bill Harris, a public member.
Donnie Ratliff representing Cole.
Harry Gibson, public.
Willie Cochran, Virginia Energy member.
Thank you. We'll now receive public comments. Go ahead, Mr. Prather. I'm sorry.
Bruce Prather, I represent the oil and gas industry on the board.
And Gus,
Yeah, Gus Jansen. I'm a public member also.
thank you. The board will receive public comments, and there's no one that's signed up. And I'd like to take the agenda and take it out of order and let Miss Berry, she wants to postpone the item number 6, the petition for Pocahontas Gas for pooling under the Oakwood Coalbed Methane Field, Unit Y34, dockets BGOB 24-1217-4298. Miss Berry, you want to
Yes, due to a medical emergency, Mark is not going to be able to join us today, so we would request that this docket item be continued until January.
thank you. You've heard the request. Board operates on a motion.
I'll make the motion that we
Continue.
continue this to the January meeting.
We have a second.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Gilmer, you want to poll the board?
Mr. Owens,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Cochran,
Yes.
Mr. Jansen,
Yes.
Mr. Prather.
Yes,
Kelly, that's approved. So
Thank you.
that takes care of that item. Next, the board will receive and review the vote on the escrow agent for the Virginia Gas and Oil Board escrow account. Who wants to present that?
I'll do it, Mr. Chairman. As you know, the current contract we had expires December 31st, so we did put out a request for proposal, and we had 2 candidates who applied for the escrow or made proposal. One was not qualified. The remaining candidate that was qualified is First Bank and Trust. So, out of that to say that's it, the contract now is a 5-year contract. The overall contract is a 10-year contract, renewable 1 year at a time. But what I need the board to do is somebody to make a motion to adopt First Bank and Trust as our escrow agent.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We have a second.
I'll second that.
Ms. Gilmer, you want to poll the board?
Mr. Owens.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff.
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Cochran,
Yes.
Mr. Jansen,
Yes.
and Mr. Prather.
yes,
So be it. That'll be recorded. Next, we have petition from Key Rock Energy LLC for the creation of Seal Gob drilling unit and pooling. Key Rock Deep Mine 20 or DM 26, chip mill number 1, docket numbers VGOB 24-1217-4300. All parties interested, please come forward and introduce yourself.
Freddie Mulls representing Key Rock Energy, Mr. Allen.
Morgan Pate representing Key Rock Energy.
Ms. Gilmer, you want to swear in Mr. Tate?
Mr. Pate, you swear and affirm that your testimony is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
You may proceed, Mr. Mullins.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Mr. Pate, could you please state your name for the board?
Morgan Pate,
And how are you employed?
I'm a geologist.
And can you tell the board a little bit about what your job entails?
We drill into active and abandoned mines to pull methane off the sealed areas, and we flare that methane to generate environmental offsets.
All right. And Key Rock Energy is authorized to conduct business in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Is that correct?
Yes,
And there is a bond on file with this department allowing Key Rock to conduct business. Is that correct?
yes, sir.
And you're familiar with what we call Key Rock Chip Mill, number 1, this application?
Yes,
And this is for a coal bed methane well. Is that correct?
yes,
And is that unit located in the Nora coal bed gas field?
yes.
And can you tell the board how many acres, that consists of?
Approximately 852.
All right, and Mr. Pate, you previously stated that Key Rock flares gas for carbon credits. Can you give the board a little bit more detail about that?
Yes, it's what we do is effectively similar to a coal bed methane well, but we don't frack anything. We just stop drilling when we hit the mine void. And the gas comes up the hole, similar to a coal bed methane well, and we pipe the gas through a set of instruments that measures flow, methane, barometer, and then we send the gas to a flare and incinerate it. And that data, all of that data is recorded, compiled, verified by non-Key Rock bodies, and then sent to the California Air Resource Board for generation of credit, which are then sold on the open market.
And how often are those credits taken into this market in California? Is that something that happens monthly or how?
Yearly.
Yearly, okay. And what seam of coal is the coal bed methane produced from for this application that you have before the board?
The lower Banner coal seam.
And Key Rock has obtained leases for this unit, is that correct?
Yes,
We have several different owners. We have Intervest and Contura, is that correct? Or Alpha Metallurgical Resources?
yes.
And how was Intervest and Alpha Metallurgical informed of these proceedings?
Certified mail, return receipt requested.
And has those mailing notices been filed with this board?
Yes,
And what percentage of the unit are you seeking to pool today?
100%.
And you're asking the board pool the interest of all the parties listed on Exhibit B, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell the board what the proposed depth is for this well?
536 feet,
And what are the estimated reserves?
750 MMCF.
And you're familiar with the projected well cost for this application, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you participate in the preparation of an AFV that was filed with this application?
Yes.
And what did that estimated dry hole cost come in at?
Approximately 118,000.
And are you asking the board to create a sealed gob drilling unit and to pool that unit?
Yes,
And the pooling, because of the nature of the leases, that would be voluntary, is that correct?
yes,
And are you asking the board to name Key Rock Energy as the operator for this unit?
yes,
And in your opinion, if the board grants today's application, would it prevent waste, promote conservation, and protect correlated?
yes, sir.
That would be our evidence, Mr. Chair.
Any questions from members of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I have a quick question. For Mr. Pate, this
Yes.
is not a difficult one, shouldn't be, but well, it may be. What percentage of the methane is actually extracted when you do that? Has anyone measured, I'm sure this is done probably all over the country, certainly in the coal fields.
Mhm.
But, they're the 25%, 50, 80,
Do
90,
you mean
the actual,
do you mean the methane percentage we see at the surface?
yes.
It ranges depending on how well the mine is sealed and how close it is to the surface. At our other Deep Mine 26 wells, the methane appears to be cyclical. It will raise and lower kind of on a curve over the course of a year. The lowest we see it is down around 40%, the highest up around 90%.
I was just curious about that. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions? You have anything further, Mr. Moss?
No, sir.
Board acts on a motion.
I'll make a motion for approval.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second. Second. All those in favor, wait, Ms. Gilmer, will you poll the board?
Mr. Owens?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Abstain.
Mrs. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Cochran?
Yes.
Mr. Jansen?
Yes.
And Mr. Prather?
Yes.
Thank you. That one's approved, Mr. Mullins. The next item on the agenda is a petition from Key Rock Energy LLC for the creation of a seal gob drilling unit, unit DM 26, Wolf Pen number 1, docket numbers VGOB 24-1217-4301. All parties of interest, please come forward and introduce yourself.
Freddie Bones representing Key Rock Energy LLC, Mr. Chair.
Morgan Pate with Key Rock Energy.
You may proceed, Mr. Mullins.
And just to make sure, he has previously been sworn, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Pate, could you please state your name for the board?
Morgan Pate,
And how are you employed again?
I'm geologist.
And who are you employed by?
Key Rock Energy.
And Key Rock Energy LLC, are they authorized to conduct business in the Commonwealth of Virginia?
Yes.
And have they posted a bond with this department to allow them to conduct the type of business that they do?
Yes.
And you're familiar with this application that we're referring to as Key Rock Wolf Pen number 1?
Yes, sir.
And is this for a coal bed methane well?
Yes.
And is this unit located in the North Coal Bed Gas Field?
Yes.
How many acres are contained in this proposed unit?
Approximately 388.
And can you tell the board what Key Rock plans to do if the application is granted?
We will drill into this sealed area of mine 26 and bring the gas from the sealed area up to the surface, meter it, monitor it, and flare it.
And what seam of coal are we talking about here that you would be, that the coal bed methane is produced from?
Lower banner.
And Key Rock Energy has obtained leases for this unit, is that correct?
Yes.
And would that be from Intervest and from Alpha Metallurgical Resources and its subsidiaries?
Yes.
And are there any unleased owners in this pool?
No, sir.
And how was Intervest and Alpha Metallurgical informed of this proceeding?
Certified mail return receipt requested.
And has the documentation associated with those mailings been filed with the board?
Yes.
And what percentage of the unit are you seeking to pool today?
100%.
And this would all be voluntary, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're requesting the board pool the interests of all the parties listed on Exhibit B of this application?
Yes.
And what's the proposed depth of the well?
Approximately 530 feet.
And what are the estimated reserves?
Approximately 700 MMCF.
And you're familiar with the projected well cost associated with this application, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And did you participate in the preparation of an AFE file with this application?
Yes.
And what's the estimated dry hole cost?
Approximately 118,000.
And are you asking the board to create a sealed gob drilling unit and to pool that unit?
Yes.
And as you stated earlier, the pooling would be voluntary?
Yes, sir.
And you're asking the board to name Key Rock as the operator for this unit?
Yes.
And in your opinion, if the application is granted today, would it prevent waste, promote conservation, and protect correlative rights?
Yes.
That would be our evidence, Mr. Chair.
Any questions from members of the board?
I just have a couple quick questions, Mr. Ratliff.
Go ahead.
The first one is probably for the staff. Has the staff been able to verify that the unit conforms to the sealed areas within the mine map that they have on file?
Yes, we have. We verified that through our mine maps that are submitted to the Division of Mines.
Thank you. And the second question, Mr. Pate, I think you mentioned Contura Alpha Metallurgical. That are they also a gas owner here? I don't see them listed on your map on the proposed unit. I think it's all listed as Intervest controlling all the gas.
No, sir, they are not a gas owner, but we do have agreement in place with them to operate on this mine.
Okay, but it's not anything to do with the gas.
That's correct.
Production
It's
or
just-
anything like that.
Intervest owns 100% of the gas rights.
Okay. And then, one last question. In your lease agreement with Intervest, I just noticed that there is a provision there, on your royalty on the original lease. It talks about the gas production monthly. You said you did your carbon credits on an annual basis, but you don't do anything monthly on the gas production produced with Intervest. Is that correct? Is that the way I understood that?
Correct, sir. We provide a monthly report, but we are not paid for the gas there, except on a yearly basis. And so once we are paid, that's when we issue royalties.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions from members of the board? Anything further, Mr. Mullins?
No, sir.
Board operates on a motion.
I'll make a motion for approval of the request.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second.
Second.
Ms. Gilmer, will you hold the board, please?
Mr. Owen,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff,
Abstain.
Ms. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Cochran,
Yes.
Mr. Jansen,
Yes.
and Mr. Prather.
Yes.
Thank you. That one is approved also, Mr. Mullins. We appreciate you all.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Board, and if we don't see you before, Merry Christmas.
Have a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Same to you.
The board will now receive an update from the division on the activities of staff.
I just not see anything on the sheet and say anything that we voted that the last time. Go ahead and do that, on the last AG, so that's been in process. The other thing we found out, we do have enough items on the agenda for January meeting.
Okay. I'll be in Richmond, so I'll be remote. Mr. Harris can.
Yeah, I should be here.
Okay, very good. Anything else? The board will review October 24 minutes. Y'all had a chance, are you finished? Thank you. Everyone had a chance to review the minutes? Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
We have a motion to approve the minutes from October 24 meeting.
I'll make a motion for approval of the minutes.
We have a second. I'll second. All those in favor?
Yes.
Are there anything else for the good of the order? Hearing none, we'll adjourn. At 10:20. Very good. Thank you all. Thank you, Gus and Mr. Chance.
Yeah, thank you very much. Y'all have a great Christmas. We'll see you hopefully in probably February.
You too, Mr. Prather. Thank you for participating. Merry Christmas.